Hold on one second, grabbing my AirPods. Usually the sound is better when I throw these babies in. Happy Monday, friends. All right, hopefully you can hear me. I would hate to do this whole thing and then have to redo it because I've done that before. uh, Hope everyone's doing well today. We have some sunshine here. Yay. All right, I see some coming on now. Just let me know if you're hearing me okay. I think it's just now 5. Yeah. So I'll wait a few seconds to let people come on in. Welcome, welcome. Again, if you are brand new to the page here, let me just remind you, with the welcome post that I put up, there are in the files tab and the guides tab of this page, you'll find all of my past trainings and free resources. So feel free to check those out at any point. And that's where tonight's training will be held as well. I always put that over onto the videos onto a YouTube channel, and then I post the link back into our guides section here. So I have a nice library of different various topics every week. So this week, I am calling this kind of how to make time for fitness and healthy living. And obviously a very important topic for any of us trying to pursue any kind of goals is you have to make time for it. All right, so I always kind of start this off with, yay, Kristen made it. Can you hear me okay? Must be. All right, so I always like to ask for like a show of hands or raise your hand if type comment, because what that does is it shows that we're not alone. So whenever I ask those types of questions, it's because I want to show like this is a common thing and this is why we're talking about it. So let me know in the comments if you are a person that has said in the past or saying it now. Probably if you're watching it, it's probably a pain point for you. I just don't have time for X, whatever that X is. Oh, good. Kristen can hear me. Yay. So let me know in those comments, like, no shame, no guilt, just if you're a person that says, I don't have time for that. And then that's it. And so that's kind of what I wanted to start this off with, is that basically when you're saying you don't have time for something, you are identifying a problem. And if you're not willing to open up and kind of open the mind a little bit and reframe your thinking, you're kind of going to continue along that path unless you decide to change something. So I know schedules with work and family and life happens, but when we start to let things control our actions, that's when we run into trouble. So I've got a few tips for you tonight that hopefully will help you when you are thinking about things that you just don't have time for and it's stressing you out, it's overwhelming. So the first thing again is that reframing your mindset. So I talk a lot about mindset because it is so crucial to, for me, I've worked on the nutrition and the fitness part my entire life. Now it's my mission to give that back, pay it forward, and build a business alongside of it. So all the things that I'm teaching you, I'm practicing within my business. So a lot of times I find myself saying, I don't have time for this in my business. Or, there's a million things as a business owner you could be doing every day. And I've shamed myself over and over again for not doing enough at the end of each day. So I'm working along with this as well as you guys. All right. The first thing I would recommend is this is an exercise you can do. Take some time and actually get a pen and paper. You're going to write out a list and start it off by saying, I don't have time for, and then write the things down that, it could be working out, it could be planning meals, it could be whatever. And then what I want you to do once you're done with that list, go back to it and change that wording to, I don't have time, to, this is not a priority right now. All right. So that changing, and then let that sink in with you a little bit. Just sit with it. Hey, Joni. And let that kind of, again, this isn't like an exercise to make you feel guilty or make you feel bad. But this is just something to reframe the brain a little bit to say, okay, I'm saying I don't have time for this, but it really just means I'm not making it a priority. And then you can kind of say, you can look at your schedule and say, maybe I can build in a little bit here or that type of thing. So that's kind of the first thing I would do. An example for me, because I am a busy mom, I have tried to run a business, trying to stay in shape, all of that fun stuff. Sometimes my house gets really messy. And for a while, I was really like, I would say I don't have time to clean my house, and I don't want to hire somebody every week to come in and do it for me. So I was just kind of like, I don't know, feeling bad about it. And then I did this exercise and said, you know what? I'm hitting all these other check marks. My health is good. I'm drinking my water, doing this and that. It's okay if my house is messy. It's fine. And so just understanding some of those things on your checklist, I put that down a little bit on my priority list because I have other things that are more important. I have to make a living. I have to take care of myself. And it's okay if the house is lived in or messy for a while. All right. So, at some point, the kids will be older and I won't have to worry about the messes as much. And I will miss that. All right. So, hopefully, that exercise kind of helps you understand I don't have time versus it's not really a priority for me. And again, this isn't a shaming thing. Don't feel bad about it. It's just we go through seasons of things, right? So another example is when I go hardcore and I do competitions, I know I have to block off a certain amount of time for workouts and nutrition. Um, but when I'm not training for a competition, I just want to maintain. I just want to be healthy. So I scale back my workouts 3 times a week. I can do total body and it's okay. So that's just a different priority. I'm still getting it in, but only 3 times a week instead of 6 or 7. So again, just think about where you're at. If it's 0 right now, times a week for working out, maybe just start with one or two. And that brings me to my next tip. You've got to drop the perfectionism. This is a tough one because so many of us I've talked about this on past trainings too. We have that all or nothing mindset where, and this has been, I think, just conditioned from, I don't know, like diet culture, workout culture of like, if you don't have this special workout plan or this diet, you're not going to see results. And so we've kind of gotten into this like thinking of like, well, if I'm not really hitting the gym 4 or 5 times a week and I'm not really, let's say I miss a day, well, then there goes everything. I'm just going to probably start again on Monday. So we've got to cut that completely out because think about all the times you've skipped because you thought you had to be so perfect with everything when you really could have just said, all right, I missed one day. I'll just start tomorrow again instead of waiting till Monday. So consistency over perfection is what I constantly try to provide as my messaging out to people. And not every workout is going to be perfect. I had one the other day that I was like, I should have just stayed home. But then when I got home, I was like, no, I still went to the gym. It wasn't my best performance, but I got there and I did it. So doing something every day or, what you can do, it compounds. So those daily tasks, those things that you said you would do, even when you don't really feel like it, again, it's not about how perfect the workout is or how perfect your macros are coming in. It's just that you're trying, you're getting it in there. And that's where we just can't quit and then start over again and then quit and then start over again, right? Now, the third thing I would say is to scale down your to-do list a little bit. So what I mean by that is sometimes when we start to go through our to-do list, it's overwhelming, and overwhelm kind of leads to this like uncertain mentality. So basically when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's just a lack of clarity. There's just too much going on, too much stimulus. I kind of felt like that today, I'll be honest with you. I told some of my friends I'm just having a very all over the place kind of day. So what you can do is try to think about the big rocks of your day, like what it has to get done. There is this little grid I'm going to post on the page. This is just one that I drew. but I'll do up a prettier one for tomorrow's post. But it's basically, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, it's Eisenhower matrix, which is a 2x2 grid. All it is it shows you've got important and unimportant on the one side here, and at the top you've got urgent and non-urgent. So this helps you kind of put things in buckets that, you know, again, it takes the emotion out. So if you've got something that's, let's say, urgent and important, it falls in this little quadrant right here. That's a must do. That's a rock. You got to get that done. So that's your to-do list. You've got something that's important, but not urgent. You're going to decide if that can be scheduled out to a later date. Maybe it's not on the to-do list for tomorrow. Maybe it's for the next day or next week. It'll get done, just not now. Then you've got unimportant and urgent. So those are the things you can delegate out. So if you've got, for me, it would be delegating cleaning to my kids now. Yeah, right. But we're trying. So that would be if you can get some help to do it that way. And then unimportant and not urgent. All right, I'm about to offend some people right now. I've got Netflix on this list right here. So Netflix and scrolling, unless it's on my page, scrolling. It gets everybody. It's such a time sucker. So if you find yourself scrolling, that's something we're going to want to eliminate or cut down. Scrolling, obviously, social media is important. I'm obviously doing a lot of my work through it, and it's just consuming the right content and blocking off time and cutting yourself off when it's getting, sometimes I find myself in rabbit holes on social media. I'm like, this is not why I came on Facebook right now. I was going to come on here for something else, and I'm totally off on a tangent. So I get it. All right, so those, I'm going to post that grid for you guys tomorrow. In terms of actual exercise tips, I posted speaking of social media, I posted a fun little reel today that kind of shows even small bouts of exercise are still important and they're still paying off. So the little video I did today showed me kind of working at my desk, which is pretty common. I work at my desk all day, but you can pop up at any time, you know, if you're working from home or if you work in an office. I don't know if people around you might think it's a little bit strange, but just do a couple sets of body weight squats. That's what I did today. Or just get up and walk, move around, do some step jacks, something that kind of just moves the whole body, do some mobility drills. There's tons of different just movement you can do, just maybe like even 30 seconds. It's literally that short of time, but your body still is understanding and getting the blood flowing and oxygen to the brain, right? So sometimes when I'm like at my desk for far too long, I've had it. Like my brain is just no longer, I'm not creative. I'm not, just not myself. So I got to move around. That's when I typically go on my walks to clear the head, and try to incorporate movement daily into your schedule, just like brushing your teeth. So I always tell like this, you know, just like you would get up in the morning, brush your teeth. Well, maybe after you brush your teeth, you do those squats or something, just something that's building like a habit. You're going to do it no matter what every single day. Nutrition tips, I would say instead of scrolling, if you find yourself doing that, catch yourself and say, okay, let's turn this scrolling into, I'm going to look up a new recipe, or I'm going to look up protein ideas, or I'm going to try to turn it into something more research-based instead of just mindlessly scrolling and figuring out what other people are doing and comparing yourself to others, because I do that too. And then involve your family. If you have people that you're living with that are struggling with the same things, get creative, think of things that are fun. I know an example in my life just a few weeks ago when it was actually really nice out, you know, the one day here in Rochester, I wasn't going to hit my steps, but my girls wanted to go outside and rollerblade. So I popped on the rollerblades with them and I skated until I hit my 10,000 steps. If I hadn't done that, I would not have hit them that day. So just some ideas, you know, if you can get creative, go on hikes, do different things with your family, come up with recipes with your family that's, you know, maybe you can cook a meal together, just, you know, even a couple times a week. We try to do that just for different dinner ideas and things like that. So hopefully all those tips helped you. And again, just, you know, let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced any of the things I'm talking about. And it's always nice to kind of see the comments because it just shows, again, we're a community. We're all kind of feeling this way at certain times of our life. And just a few reminders before I sign off. We still have our clothing store open, our online clothing store open until April 10th. If you want to order anything, I'll repost the link if you can't find it, or just message me. And I am going to be heading to a very sunny place on Thursday through Monday, Arizona. So I'm going to be out there for a nutrition coaching conference. I'm so excited. I've got another friend there who's already there, Miss Jen. She's already enjoying the sunshine. But we're going to just soak in so much from, we went to an event together in December. We're going again now, and I cannot wait to come back to fill you guys with everything I learn, and just hopefully you can feed off of my excitement from that. And so that being said, I probably will not be able to go live on next Monday, but it will probably be on Tuesday. I will let you know for sure, and I'll let you know what the topic is going to be. Feel free to. I've gotten a ton over the past few weeks and months of doing these live videos. So again, I hope that all helped you guys, and I will see you very soon after Arizona.